Hello everyone, me again, another video at request of one of my lovely subbies. So if you've spoken to me recently and told me that you're a Life Path 6 Expression 7, then you're the reason I done this video, but it is for anyone who is a Life Path 6 and Expression 7. But for the subscriber that I will remain nameless, that I won't name, this is the video for you. Right, so let's move on. Expression number 7. So your expression number is the abilities that you brought with you to achieve your Life Path 6. So your Life Path 6, or the column on the left that I'm going to show you, are things that you're working towards, things that you're developing towards in this lifetime. The right-hand column, your talent number, expression number, some people call it a destiny number, is the talent you brought with you. So what I'm going to do over the next few slides is I've broken down the Life Path 6 into, there were 10, but I mixed 2 together into 1 because they were too similar. So 9 elements that really dig into the Life Path 6, 9 elements that you'll need to achieve to come anywhere, become anywhere close to achieving your life path. And with each element, I put how the expression number may support or sometimes hinder that element of your life path. So without further ado, the expression number 7 gives you a talent in being a spiritual person, in knowing that you're a spirit being having a human experience and not the other way round, knowing that your soul has incarnated before, it's full of cellular memory, it's incarnating now, you have a purpose, and you will incarnate again in the future until you ascend to full source energy. So it's a very, very, very spiritual talent. You're very connected to source energy and you're extremely intuitive, and you go more with your heart, your emotions and your gut feeling, because you know that is how your soul speaks to you. Also, with this trust in your soul that you will have then an openness. You trust your soul so much. You trust your intuition that you know that, even if someone tries, they're not going to be able to hurt you. You're following your soul's intuition. So you can bear your soul to the world without fear of being ridiculed or hurt by anyone else. So you can share your spiritual ideas and share your spiritual knowledge. You might be a bit unconfident to actually share it, but you are a researcher and a learner of the spiritual. And then when you're following your intuition, you find it easier then to be open with others because you're confident in the knowledge that you're giving them. So element number 1, the first element I've picked out, the most important, really focuses on the main elements of the Life Path 6 that you're here to achieve in this lifetime. So you're here to be that visionary, but the Life Path 6 does it as a visionary of the ideal, a dreamer of the perfect world that will be amazing for everyone within it. You want to, with your Life Path 6, you always want to support and create a better world for yourself and other people. Your expression number 7, they don't have a problem with saving the world, your talent in the Life Path 7, but you might not do it with ideals, because if you're intuitive, sometimes ideals are worldly and sometimes our ideals are not realistic. And as we know, one person's ideal is not necessarily somebody else's ideal. So when you're a talent in the expression number 7, you trust in the process of your life because you trust your soul. You know your life is going just as it should. You're less concerned with worldly ideals. In fact, if you do listen to worldly ideals, it's only if they've been filtered through your intuition and come up trumps. So you may follow some ideals possibly, but if they don't filter if they don't filter through your intuition and make you realize that, yeah, that is a good ideal to have, you're just not going to have that ideal. You know that the universe exists in balance, okay? So it's not always going to be rosy. Sometimes, with cleanliness, you've got to have dirt. With light, you've got to have dark. With good, you've got to have bad. One can't exist without the other. And the universe, source energy, as we know, is everything. It's every experience, it's every way of thinking, it's everything from the saint that saves lives all the way to the mass murderer that kills everyone in his path. It's still a part of the balance of the universe. Therefore, well, to sum it up, if the world was a utopia and everyone had a really, really lovely life, what would we learn? What would we learn? So when you're in expression 7, you have that innate knowledge. You know that the world isn't supposed to be ideal. It's not that you don't want to make the world a better place. Of course you do. But you won't necessarily do it with ideals unless those ideals are spiritual in nature or they have been fed through your own intuition. I mean, when it comes to just creating a better world, which is the crux that you need to achieve for your life path 6, you can create a better world with your talents in the 7 by developing the individuals within it, being as that spiritual teacher, developing yourself and other people, developing their intuitions spiritually, and then filtering those ideas through that enhanced intuition of yours so that you know that your ideals and your actions are always full of integrity, you do the right thing for everyone else, and that they're realistic. You know, some ideals are just not realistic. Sorry, guys, but they're not. In this kind of world, they're not always, you know, and one ideal might be realistic for a while, but, you know, the world is in flux. Nothing stays the same, right? So even if your ideal did come about, it probably wouldn't stay long. So you can create that better world using your talent in the 7. Remember, it's your job in this lifetime to be part of making that better utopian world for other people. And you can do that using your talents by using your spiritual intuition, you know, and you'll know then that you're behaving with integrity. And then you can support your life path 6 by realizing that we all have individual ideas, beliefs, upbringings of what is, you know, we've all got different ideas linked to whatever we've gone through in our life of what is ideal and what is not. What is a utopia and what is a dystopia? We've all got different ideas of what that is, you know, maybe depending on your level of development. Okay, so your life path 6, you can support your life path 6 here by having the ideas that are already filtered through, or ideals that are already filtered through your intuition, or not dealing with ideals as such, but having spiritual ideals or ideas that help to make the world a better place. You're still following your life path 6, but it's important, you know, when you're a life path 6, you might have some ideals that are less than spiritual and are more about discrimination. So you've got to really think about your ideals and make sure that your ideals are full of integrity. And how do you do that? You filter it through that intuition of yours and make sure that you are totally happy in what you are doing and saying. So you're here to learn to not use your ideals, I keep saying that, ideals, as a benchmark for your happiness. For example, it's like saying to yourself, I want the party room, I'm just making this up by the way, to have blue ribbons in every corner. I want a banging dance floor, and you give all these details and you get them all in your head of how your perfect party room's going to look. And then you go to the party or you turn up and it's nothing like the picture you built up. Now that party can be still the best party ever. Everyone's having fun, you're having fun, but at the end of the day, you're disappointed, really disappointed, because your idea of the perfection and the ideal wasn't met, but it was a perfection that you had made up in your head. So sometimes we can use our ideals of perfection and what we want, and it can, as a benchmark, and when it's not achieved, sometimes it's unrealistic, you can end up getting sad and like judge yourself, judge other people, judge the world, get angry, get upset, get really fed up. But at the end of the day, your path, if you're a life path 6, is you've got to reconcile those ideals with what is practical in this world. You know, you often judge yourself and others for not hitting your perfection, as I've just explained, and that will cause nothing but unhappiness in you and others and your relationships. So to use your 7 talent, you can the intuitive knowledge that your 7 energy brings you, it informs you that an ideal world will teach us nothing. So it gives you more of a basis to think from. Well, would perfection teach us anything? What's perfection anyway? What's ideal anyway? What person's version of ideal is running at the moment? Really? And a utopia and an ideal, what would we learn from that? I mean, we all know, right? We learn the most from adversity, unfortunately. We all hate that. We go through good times, we go through bad times, but isn't it that we learn the most and we develop the most when we go through bad times and obstacles and adversity? Everything is a lesson. Support your life path 6 by having an attitude of nothing's perfect. Go easy on yourself. Realize that you're here to learn. You're here to learn, make mistakes, learn by experience. Everything is a lesson to be learned. That's why we're here. Otherwise, it'd all be pretty pointless, really, wouldn't it? You're also here to develop your ability to see that big picture and not nitpick the petty detail. Like, everything on my party went amazingly. Everybody had a great time. But you know what? I'm really upset. I forgot to put the mini cameras in the middle of the tables, and and you just get stuck. It's all ruined because I forgot to put the cameras out. You don't think to yourself, actually, it was an amazing party. And yeah, you forgot to put the cameras out, but it was no biggie. No, a life path 6 can often get stuck in that petty detail and judge themselves or other people involved diabolically because it's not perfect enough for them, even if it went really well. Judging small imperfections and ruining and missing what's straight in front of you, or missing the magnificence of what is in front of you because of tiny little imperfections that you just can't get your head around. Your expression energy is going to help you a lot with that. If you're a 7 expression, you're going to deal with this a lot less. You're going to be quite balanced in your detail and big picture because your 7 expression is very big picture. You love the big picture questions. You love the why are we here? You like to look at the whole, and it's big. Your expression 7 energy is big picture first, detail second. Okay, big picture first. So you're going to look at that big picture and everything that was meant to happen first before you start allowing yourself to dig into silly details. You're concerned with the big things, and sometimes your life path 6 can get a bit stuck on the details. So what you can do here is use your expression 7 energy to balance that out. Use the ability, the big picture ability that you have to balance that big picture detail persuasion. So you can use either or as needed. We all want to be versatile. You can get caught in that petty detail as a life path 6, but if you use your expression 7 and keep that big picture in view at all times, that will help you greatly in this element of your life path 6. You're also here to learn to be a nurturer, compassionate, caring, giving, especially to those that are vulnerable or struggling. Within your close relationships and community and the wider world. You want to help people. You want to help the less vulnerable. No, you want to help the less privileged in our world, the more vulnerable. You focus mainly on your family and community, but you do think about being able to do more globally for other people, being that nurturer, being that helper, being that carer. Helping people out of horrible, especially vulnerable animals, children and people. You just want to help people. And your expression 7 will help you in that caring role, but more emotional and mental kind of stuff. The 7 is very much the spiritual teacher, the guide, the advisor. So they're very much about helping you and care for you on a spiritual, emotional level. So, you're spiritual, and you can use this knowledge to help and nurture others on an emotional and spiritual level. Where you may falter a bit is the 7's not really down with caring for other people, really. They like doing a bit of advising and a bit of spiritual stuff because that's what they're, really good at. But you might be less inclined with the more practical elements of care and nurture. But the life path 6 is a very caring number, and you want to try and experience it all. So you can support that life path 6 by using your innate spiritual intuitive wisdom that you get from your talent number 7 to help vulnerable souls to thrive, to support your life path 6 in renewed purpose and strength. It will be difficult, but you need to develop your practical care and nurture skills as well, so you're a complete big, what's the word? You can do everything within the care sector, but your talent is very much about spiritual and emotional development. But as long as you're nurturing and caring for someone in some way, you are walking your life path 6. You're also here to develop boundaries because you're a carer, because you're a nurturer. You do loads for other people. You're here to develop boundaries to ensure that your own mental and physical health, because you can sometimes do way too much for people, and burn yourself out or meddle in other people's affairs when you don't really need to meddle. So the 6 can get a little bit too involved in other people's lives, meddle too much in other people's their lives, their situations, and end up taking their own energy away from themselves because they're giving it all to everybody else in their family and community and not caring enough for themselves. And when you don't care enough for yourself, you become ill and exhausted and overstressed. And all that does is just make you a rubbish person at times. When you're doing too much and you're tired, you're going to be crabby. And the 6 is an emotional number. And if you snap and kick off, you are going to be a bit of a crab apple, just to say that in the nicest way possible. You need to look after yourself well, because if you don't look after yourself, you won't be able to look after others. You'll be too busy throwing a tantrum because you're so tired. So you do a lot, sometimes too much, and you can sometimes feel undervalued, underappreciated, ill, angry, fed up, because you do so much and nobody acknowledges it. It's you that's got to put those boundaries in place. And boy, will the expression 7 help you there. The 6 is about forgetting yourself and needing more self-care. But the 7's going to help you here, because the 7 energy is about self-care, caring for yourself, the individual, and your own inner spiritual and emotional and development for your own happiness. So your 7th talent gives you the potential to combat this, because you need time alone to muse and research. You need time to yourself. You can't always be running around after everyone else, because that's just not your thing. You're a talent number 7. You're here to help people. That's your path. But remember, you've got to take time out for yourself. So the 7 will help you balance that situation. So you'll have the ability to support your life path 6 by putting yourself and your personal development first, but also, I don't like the way I've read that. So you'll have the ability to balance yourself and others. So that's it. Ensure that you balance your self-care with your care for others, because there's no point making yourself ill, is there? You've got to take care of yourself, otherwise you're just going to be a useless article. So this is about helping people, which is what your path is here to do. You're meant to be a nurturer, a carer, a bringer of utopia, a visionary of the ideal. But you're not meant to burn yourself out in the process. So make sure that you know when to say no, when you need to say no. And you don't. You often don't. I know many life path 6s who I say to them always, are you saying no enough? And I look into their exhausted eyes and I think, no, you're not saying no enough. But you as a life path 6, with your expression 7, you've got more potential there to really think, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm going home, spend time to myself, I'm going to relax, I'm going to research, and I'm going to look after me. And that's what the expression 7 will help you to do. So you're also here to develop your social skills, be a bit of a team player, break through your low self-esteem, because 6s can be really low confidence. They judge themselves a lot on those ideals that they set themselves and others. So that really, when you're disappointed by your ideals not being met, when you're a life path 6, it really does hit the confidence hard. but you are a passionate, emotional, talkative, fun-loving person. Others love to be around you. You're compassionate. That's what you're working towards in your life path 6. Your life path 6 needs you to be that social wondrous, what's the word? I can't remember all my words today. A social superstar where you can make people laugh, you can make people feel positive, you can build compassion, you can, just make people love you, really. That's part of your path in the life path 6 because you love them too. You're able in your expression, talent, energy to be social. You're able to be a team player. There's no dips in your talent that you can't do that. You're most and fully able to communicate, to be social, to be that team player, to be that extrovert if you so want to be. But you can sometimes come across, because you like time on your own, you can sometimes in your talent 7 energy come across a bit aloof, disinterested in others. But it's not true. You may come across as aloof and unemotional and disinterested, but you're actually looking and observing and taking things in all the time. But the demeanor that you often show, this thoughtful, quiet demeanor, it's not the best way to attract people into your life. It's not shining charisma. You prefer to work alone, and you need time alone. You need that time to muse and meditate. And the expression 7 and the life path 7 are at risk of totally detaching from the world and only wanting to be on their own. But a talent expression 7's better at balancing that. So because you're a life path 6, you need to spend more time around other people so that you can start achieving your life path 6, or at least this element of your life path 6. And these are one of the elements that you're not going to find easy, because have you noticed I haven't actually said, but the things that are positive I've put in green, and the areas where the expression 7 doesn't help you so much I've coloured red. So just so you know. So support your life path 6 by spending more time around others in relaxed social situations, so that more of your social skills can come out. That potential is there. You wouldn't be a life path 6 if that potential wasn't there. If you're a life path 6, you have the potential to be a fully achieved life path 6. You'll never come with a job into an incarnation if you can't achieve it. So the expression number 7 is your talent, and think of the life path number 6 as your potential talent that you're working towards. So for you, because you're a life path 6, you need to be more social. You will find it difficult, much more difficult because of your expression 7, but you're capable of it. You're capable of talking intelligent with people. You're capable of being an extrovert and fun and chatting and gossip. You're just capable. It's just sometimes you can come across that you're disinterested. Maybe smile a little bit more. Talk to people a little bit more before they talk to you first. Work towards being a warmer, more social individual to help support your life path 6. You're here to create a stable, nurturing, tranquil home to maintain the security that you need to develop, that you want. The life path 4, the life path 6, the 4 and the 6 especially love the stability of family and home and tranquility. 2s love tranquility. So you can maybe think the 2s, the 4s, the 6s are all this kind of way. They love a stable home. You're very home bird if you're a life path 6. And that's what you're working towards. So if you're a home bird, don't stop being a home bird. This is what you're meant to be doing. This is your purpose. So you're meant to nurture a community, a family, a group of people. It doesn't have to be someone related to you. It doesn't have to be people that even known you, but you are a nurturer. You're a responsible advisor, a protector, and you know how to create a tranquil, stable environment to help nurture people, and your expression 7 is going to be a double-edged sword here, because you thrive. Your talent 7 thrives in quiet, stable environments, and you love being in tranquility. You love nature. You love quiet. That's all quite fine and dandy for you. But your 7 expression might make you a bit of a loner. A happy and content loner, though, not a miserable loner, not a lonely loner, a happy loner, because you like to study on your own and muse and research. And, when it comes to relationships, that becomes a bit difficult. So you're good at creating tranquility in your expression talent, but you won't necessarily be as good at drawing people into your secure base or building a family that creates part of your stable base, because you like to be alone. And even though you want a relationship, on the other hand, actually you don't. And you don't want to be alone, but you don't want to have somebody else stepping on your life all the time. You need to get things done. You like working on your own. So to support your life path 7, do that by building a nurturing home, making quality time for your family, or to meet people more, to create that loving, nurturing relationship that's going to be part of your security and well-being. But the 7 talent, you are going to find this difficult because, like I said, you like time on your own. So sometimes you can be guilty of thinking you can pick loved ones up and put them down, and then when you come back to them, they'll be there waiting for you when you're ready to spend time with them. You need to make sure you don't let that slip into your relationship. That person will need to feel valued. So it's important that you set aside time to dedicate to your family and key relationships within your life. And it is the best thing you can do to help your life path 6. You're here to learn to be responsible and do good for those you care for. When you're a nurturer and you're looking after vulnerable people, it goes without saying that you must be responsible and full of integrity. People naturally put you, this is what you're working towards. Remember, you've got to be responsible. You're working towards being that person that is always put in the position of responsibility. And sometimes you resent being the responsible one, but it is your path. So deal with it, bucko. So your talent in the 7. How is that going to help? In some ways it's going to help, in some ways not so much. So, every talent has a weakness, right? So your talent very much centers on your inner spiritual development. You have integrity, and you have that inner integrity, so you do take responsibility for your actions, and you do care for those around you. You're not nefarious. You don't engage in nefarious activities because you're always channeling from intuition, and your conscience and your love for others just wouldn't let you, But you're not one for taking extra responsibility on things and having to do extra things for other people when you'd rather be studying and doing your own thing. You're not really one that enjoys or wants or is good at taking on loads and loads of responsibility. You'll take responsibility when you need to, or when it's totally appropriate for you to do because it's something that you've done or something that you've acted on. You won't always be drawn towards actively taking responsibility for others. And that might be a good thing. Well, it will be a good thing for you to do to help you work towards your life path 6. Support your life path 6 by ensuring that you act responsibly. Always looking at your actions and thinking, is this full of integrity? Is this the responsible thing to do? Use your 7 talent, your 7 intuitive talent, to ensure that you balance your responsibility to others and the responsibility to yourself. Because your 7 talent means you're always looking to spirit for answers, and the spirit, source, universe will never give you or tell you to do something nefarious. They just wouldn't tell you to do that. They're looking out for your highest good. Source energy, intuition, your soul, it's all for your highest good. So, last but not least, you're also here, you're very artistic. So the life path 6, as well as developing that beautiful or that stable, comfortable home, they love to make their home, their environment, their clothes, everything about them and their environment beautiful. That's what you're working towards. You're very aesthetic, beauty orientated, artistic, making great home designers, artists. You just love beauty and jewellery and colours and things like that. And the 7's not going to be so useful here. You're an excellent researcher. an analytical thinker, not so much into makeup and fashion and beauty. You know, it's really irrelevant to you. But you're going to have a mix of this. You know, your life path gives you the potential to be very aesthetic, and your expression 7 really doesn't give a toss about that kind of thing. You know, you're a researcher, you're a thinker, you like to research. You're not so interested in making things look pretty. You dig beneath the surface, study big questions, the unknown, the unexplained. That's what really where your talent lies. Art and aesthetics really aren't your thing. They could be. I'm not saying if you're an expression 7, they definitely won't be. It's just not so much as other things that you do within your life. But you could support your life path 6 by mixing the two a little. Use your spirituality as a theme for your art, for your aesthetics. Use your art and spirituality as a theme for the things you wear, how you decorate your home. It can all be mixed. One second, I've just got to free my cat. Hello, darling. You want to go out? It's okay. Go on then. Go on then, sweetheart. Right. Right, so yeah, you can mix the two. You're a spiritual person. You really love research, but then you don't have to be aesthetic like everybody else is aesthetic. Some life path sixes would be very conventional, and they would decorate themselves in the latest fashions because that's conventional. They'll decorate their homes in the latest furniture, do their gardens in the latest pretty way. But you as an expression 7, you might make things look pretty, but it might not be mainstream pretty. It might be what you decide is pretty, and that is fantastic because that is showing your individualism and your spiritual identity. So by all means, follow your life path 6 by trying to show the aesthetics, but maybe have the theme as something you're interested in. Something like a subject in spirituality, or there is some beautiful spiritual art out there. I've got some beautiful fabrics that are made from mandala fabrics that I've sprayed all over my house, much to the distress of my life path 6 daughter, who loves beauty and likes to decorate my house, but she's not an expression number 7, so she really doesn't get the spiritual side of it, which I find hilarious. So she's a life path number 6, and she really hates my spiritual stuff that I have all over my house, because I'm a life path 7, by the way. Anyway, stop gabbling on and ask. I hope you found my video interesting today. So I've talked about all the elements of the life path 6, what you're working towards, and how each element could be supported by your expression number 7. Now, I've got a course on Udemy that I want you guys to take a look at. I'm putting the link to my course in my description box and below, and that gives you all information about the numbers, all the numbers within a chart, how they all fit together and how they work. And it will take you up to being very knowledgeable about numerology. Over the next few months, I'll be posting a master course, which will take you to practitioner reader level. But the course that I've put onto Udemy at the moment is very comprehensive. It is all the numbers fully explained, the life path fully explained, all your core numbers and some of the elements around the outside, so that you can read for yourself and other people and be a numerologist yourself. If you like this video, please smash that like button, press subscribe, click that bell icon, so if you are subscribed, you're kept up to date with my latest content. You can email me at katie@soulexplorer.net, or you can go to my website, which I'm still developing. It's utterly rubbish, my website. I really do need to get something sorted on that. I say that on every video as well. And links to my Facebook, Instagram and Twitter will be in the description box, alongside my Udemy course that I can't wait for more people to do. As ever, guys, trust the soul within you. Never let anybody else tell you what your own gut feelings has already told you.